What is complicated when you buy a shopping center and you spend an awful lot of, well, you invest an awful lot of money, and then you have to tell to the investor, well, for a year, let's try to do a new experience. How will that work out? We have to see. Has anybody done it before? No, not really. So do you have to be the first one? Let someone else do it. No?
It's a blend. It's a yes, but I think it's a blend. Mm. I mean, we really fascinating. I looked at a project last week, a shopping centre in Germany, where on the face of it, you look at it, there are 8 tenants, and there's a rent of about 1.8 million euros off those 8 tenants. It's absolutely great, fantastic, on the face of it. Except the total turnover is only 3.5 million for the food space. So you've got what you want as investors. You've got all these tenants on the hook, paying a good rent on 20 or 25-year leases. Yeah. The only problem is no customers want to use it. Nobody's spending their money there. That's the problem. That's one end of the scale. The hard, secured income that gets you the highest value on your property, brilliant, fantastic, against this randomized, pop-up world of everything being experiential, and the money that flows through the till produces a rent on that day. Somewhere we have to blend these things. It's like a really good, forgive me, Sergio, but it's like a really good recipe, isn't it? It's like blending ingredients. Yeah? And in the nice way, you have expensive ingredients, you have less expensive ingredients. Is anybody here Italian? Can I be rude about the Italians? Just for a minute. The pizza is the most inspired piece of cooking in the world because it blends some of the very cheapest ingredients ever on the planet with 1 or 2 expensive ingredients. And then they charge you a phenomenal amount of money for it. Yeah? It's the perfect, and I think we need to think about property pizza in some ways. Yeah? Having the hard, solid income coming from the guys who know how to operate in shopping centres, but there's also this blend of interesting, 25%, 30% of what you do in the food offer is interesting and variable and changing. It's the froth on the cappuccino. Yeah, it's the cheese on the top of the pizza. It's the, whatever the analogy is. It's the thing that keeps it interesting. It's probably the cherry on the top of my cocktail tonight. Something like that. But it's the visual thing that keeps it interesting, rather than, you don't look at the pizza and go, that's a really nice base. Do you? You don't look at the cupcake and go, I love that sponge. You look at the icing on the top and the cherry on it. That's what we've got to do. We've got to blend between hard income and the softer, more experiential income, in my mind. What these guys are doing with Into is they're putting a lot more into the experiential side of things, in the belief that genuinely that will get valued as they start to create proof points in the property industry. And I know that from the experience that we've got with them in the UK, that they are prepared to take a risk, and then they're prepared to take on the valuers to say, actually, now we have evidence that this space, even though it's been run by 5 operators in 2 years, does generate this amount of sales per square metre consistently. Therefore, you need to value it in a different way. So the valuers have to change as well. So it's like all change in the property industry around F&B.
We need to be a bit aware. If we want to be aligned, we need to know your P&L.
Yeah, sometimes it's difficult.
And sometimes, for us, it's very difficult to know that, and especially how the P&L has evolved during the crisis, because that there have been some adjustments.
Right.
And but there's still a lack of trust, I guess, between the retailer and the owner. And it's something at some point we have to work together.
For us, it's very good to have a turnover rent in shopping centers, and I wish we could have that in line, downtown too.
Yeah, but you're
but
usually...
landlords don't trust us.